So good morning friends, welcome to Raj Malhotra IAS. So guys, the PDF for today's session has been uploaded on our Telegram group. You can download the PDF from there. And we are just about to start. So here we are connected and live. Just give me a minute, I will be starting this session. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. So here we are starting the session. Let's see how many people have already joined us. Good morning everyone. So we will be starting this session, just give me a minute. So let's start the session without wasting much time. Let's see what exactly is there for us in today's newspaper. देखते हैं आज के अखबार में हमारे लिए क्या खास है. So first let's start with this. So Albert Einstein has stated that the most important human endeavor is the striving for morality in our actions. Our inner balance and even the very existence depend upon it. Okay. Only morality in our actions can give beauty and dignity to the life. So this is what Albert Einstein is pointing towards. He is mentioning about importance of morality in your life. Okay. So the point is this, that should be the goal, that whatever you are doing, you are educating yourself. Okay. So your education should also imbibe the morality aspect, because this is what is required to make you a good human being. Okay. And not just the good human being, but also a good social being, because we need to be accepted by others. We need to be accepted by others, and that will be only possible if our behavior is approved by others. So it all depends upon your behavior, how you are behaving. That will decide how others will consider us, how others' point of view will be around us, how others will behave in reciprocity, कि बाकी लोग कैसे behave करेंगे जैसा आप behave करोगे वैसा. So this idea is really very important, that we need to inculcate morality in our life. Okay, in different aspects of life, whatever you are doing, as a student, as a teacher, as a, you can say, as an officer. Okay, so you need to have that moral thing in your life. Now it is important for your inner balance as well, because it helps you to develop inner strength. You will be calm, composed. That's the idea. And it is equally important for your, means for your beauty and the dignity of your life. Okay, this is what the whole idea is. This is what the whole idea is. ये सारी चीज़ें हमें अपनी लाइफ के अंदर लेके आनी होती है. ठीक है ना. तो ये एक इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ है यहाँ पे. ओके. Now we'll move to the next, and we'll move to the news here. So avoid unilateral action to alter the Taiwan status quo. This is what India is saying. Okay, now you need to understand one thing here. Now normally on the Taiwan issue we have maintained a studied silence. Okay, we maintained a studied silence. That means that we kept our lips closed. We didn't say anything, we didn't criticize China. Okay, because we have this pending issue in our border areas, so you can't do anything. Okay, you can't do anything. That's bit problematic. That's bit problematic. Okay, so it is really very important. It is really very important. So Vicky Gautam Mehta, sir, background sound stop please. Sir, Vicky, I am extremely sorry, I can't help it, my laptop has some problem. Okay, so it won't be possible on my part. I tried my level best, but sorry for that. You have to bear some pain. थोड़ा नज़रअंदाज करने की कोशिश करो. Okay. Avoid unilateral action to alter the Taiwan status quo. Now this is really important here. Okay. Now the point is this, like it is in India's interest as well to maintain silence. Okay, ये हमारे लिए इंटरेस्ट में कि हम थोड़ी शांति मेंटेन करके रखें, ठीक है ना. तो ये इम्पोर्टेंट भी होता है. ओके, ये इम्पोर्टेंट भी होता है यहाँ पे, ठीक है जी. दिस इज व्हाट द होल आइडिया इज अबाउट. ओके, we don't want any problem with China because we have to live with a neighbor. You can change your friends but not your neighbors. Okay, China is our neighbor and we have to live with that. We have to live with that. That's the important point here. Now other point is this: retail inflation eases out. Retail inflation in India eases to 6.71. Okay, now this is a really good development in the sense things are getting under control. Okay, now how it is going to help us, how controlling inflation is going to be helpful for us. Okay, one thing you have to understand here: as this inflation will be under control, your Reserve Bank of India, it will have more bandwidth. Okay, आपके रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया के पास और ज्यादा बैंडविड्थ होगी, ठीक है ना. क्लास खत्म नहीं हुई है. यू हैव टू रिकनेक्ट. देयर इज सम प्रॉब्लम गोइंग ऑन एट द बैक एंड. ओके, और ऐसा हो सकता है इस यूट्यूब चैनल का कंट्रोल बहुत से लोगों के पास है. सो पीछे से भी कभी कभी कोई और रैंडमली खोल देता है तो फिर शट डाउन हो जाता है. तो ये प्रॉब्लम है. बट एनीवेज, RBI bandwidth, it will give RBI more bandwidth to ease out the interest rate. Okay, to ease out the interest rate, ठीक है ना. तो ये important चीज है यहाँ पे, and it is really very important that you do have that ease out area. Now RBI will reduce that interest, okay, and it will facilitate your economic activity in your country because installments and all, they will further go down. अब अगर हम इंटरेस्ट रेट की बात करें, RBI हैज़ ऑलरेडी टेकन इट टू द प्री कोविड लेवल. ओके, तो प्री कोविड लेवल तक ये ऑलरेडी पहुंच चुका है. एंड दिस इज हाउ थिंग्स आर. ओके, तो ये प्री कोविड लेवल तक पहुंच चुका है यहाँ पे. एंड इन फ्यूचर वी डू एक्सपेक्ट RBI नॉट टू इंक्रीज द रेट्स फर्दर बिकॉज इन्फ्लेशन इज अंडर कंट्रोल. तो अगर ये इन्फ्लेशन विद इन टारगेट आ जाता है, ना मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी कमेटी हैज़ दिस टारगेट ऑफ +-2. इफ इट कम्स अंडर द टारगेट, कहीं ना कहीं से अगर ये टारगेट आ जाता है, टारगेट के अंडर आ जाता है, देन डेफिनेटली इट्स अ रियली गुड डील फॉर अस. ओके, काफ़ी अच्छा हो जाएगा हमारे लिए अगर ये टारगेट के अंदर आ जाता है. तो थिंग्स विल बी अंडर कंट्रोल एंड ऑल दोज थिंग्स. ओके, नाउ दिस इज हाउ थिंग्स आर. अदर देन दैट देर इज नथिंग मच, कुछ खास नहीं है यहाँ पे. ओके, सो दिस इज व्हाट द होल आइडिया इज अबाउट. BJP rejected demand for 4 cabinet berth Nitish. Okay, this is not relevant for our, you can say, okay. So other than that, there is nothing much, कुछ खास नहीं है. Directly we'll move to the editorial section. So in today's editorial, I have added few things at my level. Okay, so why I have added this? So you have to understand one thing. Now Shashi Tharoor is writing things about independence in the words of an American. Okay. So from the masala point of view, from the knowledge point of view, you can read it on your own. Okay, but here this might not be that exam relevant. Now I will directly rush to the exam relevant thing, and exam relevant idea is about Nehruvian model of 5-year planning in India. So here in this particular, we will cover different 5-year plans. Okay, till 1991 we introduced different 5-year plans, and these 5-year plans, they had their targets. Okay, and UPSC is asking questions from them. Okay, so this is a new trend that we have seen, and UPSC is asking questions from those 5-year plans. So it is important that we need to cover them. Okay, ये हमारे लिए important है कि हम उसे cover कर लें यहाँ पे, ठीक है ना. तो ये हम अभी देखेंगे यहाँ पे what exactly is there in those 5-year plans. Okay, so here as we move here now, first 5-year plan if you pick, okay, initially we were not having much resources. Okay, India was not having much resources, and you can say that we were dealing with food security. That was also one of the major issue. Okay, आपके पास खाने के लिए भी कुछ नहीं था. So in this particular, you can say 5-year plan, we focused upon the primary sector of the economy, like farming, logging, hunting, fishing. Those were the priorities for us. Okay, during the first 5-year plan. And this 5-year plan is known as Harold Domer model. Okay, Harold Domer model. Now whatever we are learning here, that is important for your prelims point of view. बहुत important है आपके prelims के लिए, because इसी तरीके के क्वेश्चन वो पूछते हैं. Okay, what Shashi Tharoor thinks, that might not be important for from the UPSC perspective, but definitely these things are. So whatever we are covering, those things are important for you. Okay, now this was your first 5-year plan. This was your first 5-year plan, and it was talking about this Harold Domer model, और initially चीजों पे focus था. Now the target growth rate was 2.1% annual growth of GDP. We achieved the growth rate of 3.6%. Okay, so from the growth rate point of view, this was a success. Growth rate point of view से तो ये success थी, ठीक है ना? That's the point. That's the point. तो ये एक important चीज है. Okay. Other plan, the second one. Now in the second one, we focused upon development of public sector and rapid industrialization. Okay, so here during this point, this 5-year plan, we focused upon heavy industries in this country. तो हम हैवी इंडस्ट्रीज के ऊपर फोकस कर रहे थे, एंड प्राइमरीली लॉट ऑफ बिग construction was carried out. Okay, dams were constructed in India, and dams were basically construction started during these times. So this plan was about the heavy things. Okay, this plan was the heavy things, and it was, you can say, based on the Mahalanobis model. So Indian statistician Prasanta Chandra Mahalanobis, he was, you can say, the creator of this particular plan, and here the focus was on, you can say, heavy industries, capital goods. Okay, we want import substitution as well. So earlier we were dependent on imports. Now here with this plan we want to have import substitution. Okay, तो ये हमारा मेजर फोकस था ड्यूरिंग द सेकेंड 5-year प्लान. तो ये चीज आपको याद रखनी है, ठीक है जी. नाउ दिस 5-year प्लान वी हैड मूव टुवर्ड्स कैपिटल गुड्स इंडस्ट्री. तो बड़ी हैवी इंडस्ट्री और कैपिटल गुड्स इंडस्ट्री की तरफ हम चल पड़े थे. नाउ दिस वाज द थर्ड 5-year प्लान. नाउ ड्यूरिंग द थर्ड 5-year प्लान वी हैड अ India-China war. Okay, now when we had a war, definitely your economy will be weakened because of the war, and this is what happened in India's case as well. So during this particular 5-year plan, we had 1965 war as well. Now again another war, and again your economy was, you can say, majorly impacted by that. तो ये हमारा जो है, ये हमारा थर्ड 5-year plan में चल रहा था. Many primary schools were started in rural areas. Okay, so efforts were made to further bring democracy to the grassroots level. Panchayat elections were started. Okay, so these things were started. Now there is another important development here. This is for the first time India resorted to borrow money from IMF. Okay, so most of us think that we borrowed money only in 1991. No, before that as well, multiple times India had borrowed money from IMF, and this is that time. So during this particular 5-year plan, with the third 5-year plan, India borrowed money from IMF, and then India rupee devaluation take place for the first time in 1966. तो आपके रुपये को devaluate किया गया था for the first time. Okay, so it was done in 1966. This was the basic idea. Now between 1966 and 1969 we had a plan holiday, means for 3 years there was no 5-year plan as such. Okay, and this is the time where we started with, you can say, your green revolution. यहाँ पे हम green revolution को introduce करते हैं, ठीक है जी, during these holidays only. Okay, this is what you should know. And government declared devaluation of rupee to increase the exports from the country. Again the rupee was devaluated. Okay, this was the idea. Next is your fourth 5-year plan, and during this fourth 5-year plan, you can say nationalization of 14 major Indian banks were done, and industrial revolution in India and advanced agriculture was further taken. Okay, तो थोड़ा बहुत बेस जो है उन हॉलीडेज में बनाया था हमने, बट you can say it was primarily during the fourth 5-year plan that your green revolution and nationalization of 4 national banks were carried out. 4 national banks, they were nationalized along with the green revolution in agriculture. Okay, so target growth rate was 5.6%, but actual growth rate was 3.3%. So it means that your fourth 5-year plan failed to achieve the targets. Okay, तो इसने जो है अपना टारगेट अचीव नहीं किया था. ठीक है जी. Then came the fifth 5-year plan. Now, in fifth 5-year plan, Indira Gandhi came out with the नारा ऑफ गरीबी हटाओ. ओके, गरीबी हटाओ का नारा दिया गया, एंड दिस 5-year प्लान फोकस्ड ऑन सेल्फ रिलायंस इन एग्रीकल्चर प्रोडक्शन एंड डिफेंस. तो आपका फोकस अब यहाँ पे एग्रीकल्चर और डिफेंस पे आ जाता है, सेल्फ रिलायंस के अंदर. ठीक है ना. So Atmanirbharta is not the present day government's, you can say, tool. Earlier governments have also emphasized upon that point. Okay, Indian national highway system was introduced. Many roads were widened to accommodate increasing traffic. Okay, it was all during the fifth 5-year plan. Tourism was expanded. The 20-point program was launched in 1975. Okay, so this 20-point program, it is important development. Okay, this program was launched in 1975. That this is what you have to understand. Further, the minimum needs program was introduced in the first year of 5-year plan in the 1974-78. Okay, so this is what we need to know. ये सारी चीज मालूम होनी चाहिए. So during the fifth 5-year plan, the target growth rate was 4.4% and actual it was 4.8. Okay, so it was above the target. It was a good performing plan. fifth 5-year plan काफी अच्छा था यहाँ पे. Then came the rolling plan. Okay, अब ये देखिए rolling plan क्या है. rolling plan बीच में आया था क्योंकि जनता पार्टी की गवर्नमेंट आ गई थी यहाँ पे. Okay, so during this time जनता पार्टी गवर्नमेंट was there and definitely whatever Indira Gandhi did, इनको तो उल्टा ही करना था. So they do come out with the rolling plan. ठीक है ना. तो ये rolling plan इन्होंने introduce किया. Okay, some of the things that were done during the 5-year plan, the fifth 5-year plan, those were basically rolled out. उल्टा पुल्टा काम किया इन्होंने, चीज़ों को cancel किया, this and that. Okay, sixth 5-year plan, it focused on the economic liberalization. This was the time where we started going for economic liberalization. देखिए हम 1991 की बात तो करते हैं, but majorly the groundwork started with the sixth 5-year plan itself. Okay, and this led to an increase in food prices and increase in the cost of living as well. So during this particular time, we headed towards, you can say, market economy, and there was, you can say, we started moving away from the Nehruvian socialism. तो ये सारी चीजें आने लगी. And during this particular plan itself, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, NABARD जिसे बोलते हैं, it was established for the development of rural areas. Okay, by the on the recommendation of शिव रामन कमेटी. तो शिव रामन कमेटी के रिकमेंडेशन पे नबार्ड बनाया गया था. अगेन इंपॉर्टेंट डेवलपमेंट. इट वाज प्राइमरीली ड्यूरिंग योर सिक्स्थ 5-year प्लान. ठीक है जी, ये याद रहेगा. सिक्स्थ 5-year प्लान के टाइम पे नबार्ड बना था. ओके, सो that was the point. Okay, other than that, we had the seventh 5-year plan, and this was the last plan before, you can say, 1991 reform. So this laid emphasis on, you can say, improving the productivity level of industries. Okay, तो ये हमारा focus था. और again, as I told you, this also made the arrangement. Okay, this also made the arrangement for, you can say, for the reforms. Okay, now during this particular 5-year plan, we focused upon food grains, generating employment through social justice. Okay, so again we move towards socialism. यहाँ पे भी हम socialism की तरफ जो है थोड़ा जा रहे थे, and this is how things were. Okay, so the target growth rate was 5%, but annual growth rate was 6%. So it was again a successful plan, काफी successful था यहाँ पे. So this is how these plans were existing. Now some of you must be asking, what is this 20 point program? Okay, so 20-point program, you should know, This program was regarding, you can say, improvement in various sectors, various social sectors like poverty, housing, education, health, agriculture, land reforms, irrigation, drinking water protection, empowerment of the weaker sections, consumer protection, okay, e-governance. So those things were incorporated in the 20-point program. So it was sort of a holistic thing. Clear hai? Okay, it was sort of a holistic thing. So this was a idea about the 20-point program. Okay, so we'll move to the next part. आगे चलते हैं. Now moving policy away from the population control. Okay, so there are some statistics that are available to us. How Indian population is going to be behaving, whether we will be increasing it or decreasing it. Okay, so okay, now this particular policy that we have here, there are few things. So by 2023 itself, we will have 140 crore population, and we will be the number one in the world. Okay, तो पूरी दुनिया के अंदर नंबर वन हो जाएंगे, and that's the point that we have. Now these things are really important. You will be number one in the world. अब ये पॉइंट आपको यहाँ पे ऐसे समझना है, ये पॉइंट आपको ऐसे समझना है. When will your population stabilize? See, when we talk about replacement rate, okay, replacement rate की बात करें, so we have already reached the replacement, means your reproductive growth rate is now below 2.1. तो उसे replacement rate बोला जाता है. तो already हम उस direction में तो जा रहे हैं. But if we go by this pace, we will have a stable population by 2064. Before that, we cannot expect the population to stabilize. Other point is related to the demographic dividend. Okay, now we do say that India is at the brink of demographic dividend. So the point is this: for the another 25 to 30 years, we will have highest working population in the world. दुनिया की सबसे ज्यादा वर्किंग पॉपुलेशन जो है वो इंडिया के अंदर होने वाली है. ओके, it has already started. For another 30 years it is going to be like this. So we need to have the preparation for that, because if we are failing to provide opportunities to the youth, then that demographic dividend will end up as a demographic disaster. And other point is this: you need to provide them with the education, okay, schooling, skills, health, job opportunities. All those things are crucial, because without those things, definitely we will not be able to, you can say that your demographic dividend is truly going to reap benefit for you. So this is another equally important point, that we need to have this arrangement. Okay, तो ये चीज हमारे लिए काफी जरूरी है यहाँ पे. ठीक है जी, ये काम करना जरूरी है. Other point that we have to understand here, the journey is not going to be easy. So here this editorial is suggesting that we need to focus on human capital. This is what we need to invest upon. इन एरियाज में हमें इन्वेस्ट करने की जरूरत है. ह्यूमन कैपिटल में आपको इन्वेस्ट करने की जरूरत है. ओके, यू हैव टू मेक श्योर दैट पीपल इन दिस कंट्री, दे आर हैविंग द रिसोर्सेज टू लिव विद डिग्निटी. दैट्स द इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट. ओके, दैट्स द इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट. ये चीज हमारे लिए बहुत ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है. Now, other point that you have to understand, as per the United Nations World Population Prospect, India will become the most populous country by 2023, surpassing China, and we are going to be 140 crore. अब ये तो देखो ज़्यादा दूर नहीं है, इसी साल हम इस लेवल पे पहुंच चुके हैं. Okay, so at this number we will be 4 times the number that we had during the independence. Okay, other point is this: India will be 17.5% of world's population. This is such a big number, and as per this world population prospect, India will reach 150 crore by 2030, 166 crore by 2050. This is what is going to be. Okay, in 1960s your population growth rate was 2%. Now it has fallen to 1% by 2025. Now these are really good developments. सो थोड़े बहुत स्टेबिलिटी और नॉर्मलाइजेशन की तरफ हम ऑलरेडी बढ़ चुके हैं, ठीक है जी, और ये हमारे लिए इंपॉर्टेंट भी है, ओके, दैट्स द पॉइंट. Other thing is this: last year India reached a significant demographic milestone, that is, for the first time the total fertility rate slipped to 2, below the replacement fertility. Okay, so 2.5 2.1 से नीचे आया है ये, and that was for the first time. But when you talk about these things in India, okay, so there are regional variation, बहुत सारे regional variation है, because states like UP, Bihar, they are still, you can say, they have not been able to control their population, West Bengal and all, and they are still increasing के अंदर population imbalance आ रहा है यहाँ पे, ठीक है ना. So this point you have to understand, okay. Now as I told you, in another 30 years, like, your working age population is going to be 50 to 65%. Okay, this is what is making India a demographic dividend reaping country, because the number of dependents in this country are significantly going down. Okay, so old age और बच्चों का जो है यहाँ पे नंबर काफी कम हो गया है, dependents जो है उनका नंबर कम होता जा रहा है. So this is why we say that we have a, you can say, this is the time so that we can really reap benefit of these developments. Okay, इसलिए ये टाइम काफी अच्छा बताया जा रहा है. Other point is this: now whatever you may say, but if 50% of your labor force is not present, मतलब women अगर present ही नहीं है, तो you will not be able to reap your demographic dividend. आप किसी भी हालत में अपना demographic dividend reap नहीं कर पाओगे, because women का participation अगर नहीं होगा. Okay. Other point is this question mark over the quality of education that we are providing. Now we need to provide quality education and skills to the people who are working, living in this country. तो ये चीज आपको प्रोवाइड करनी बहुत जरूरी है. विदाउट दैट यू कैन नॉट टॉक अबाउट डेमोग्राफिक डिविडेंड. किसी हालत में भी हम डेमोग्राफिक डिविडेंड अटेन नहीं कर सकते हैं. ओके, सो दिस इज अगेन अ इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट हियर. Other thing is this improvement in the sex ratio. No doubt over the time things have improved, but still it is going to take time, and specifically the here fight is about the patriarchy. So till the time we don't deal with it, you can't express things to move, things to be normalizing, things to be improving, so that we can truly reap the benefit of whatever strength we do have. जो भी स्ट्रेंथ आपके पास है, आप उसका बेनिफिट पूरे तरीके से तभी ही ले पाओगे. ओके, दैट्स रियली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट हियर. So this is what you need to understand. Other point is regarding the mortality rate. Definitely it has reduced, but still there is a gap. We have to address this. There are issues like global hunger index. Okay, means India stands at 100, so you have to make sure that people of this country, they are getting nutritious food. Okay, उनको nutritious food देना बहुत ज़रूरी है. And in India we have this hidden hunger as well. Hidden hunger क्या होती है? So micronutrients की यहाँ पे deficiency होती है, ठीक है ना. Majorly micronutrients की deficiency Indians में मिलती है. Why it is there? देखिए, so we do have a PDS system. हमारे यहाँ पे PDS system है, but we are giving only wheat, rice and you can say pulses. Okay, so what about the minerals? Carbohydrates वगैरह जाता है majorly. तो minerals जो हैं वो कहीं ना कहीं Indian populations के पास नहीं पहुंच रहे हैं. That's the major point here. So this is what has been raised in this particular point, is this particular editorial. We'll move next part now. Electricity bill problematic. This is what opposition is saying. What they are pointing out. See, when you talk about electricity, there are few things that are important. Now it is a concurrent list subject. Okay, it is a concurrent list subject. Important thing that we need to acknowledge about the agriculture sector is this पूरा sector आपका fragmented है. क्यों fragmented है? So you have a distribution companies. अब यहाँ पे distribution companies हैं. They are either private, Tata's, Ambani, Adani. Okay, they are either under the state control. तो जैसे हरियाणा के अंदर like DHUBVN. Okay, दक्षिण हरियाणा विद्युत लिमिटेड, उत्तर हरियाणा, it's all the sarkari system. Okay, then you have transmission. Now transmission is under a different, you can say, agency. Transmission के अंदर अलग से काम होता है. Specifically power generation, okay, it's all under the different center run things, and private power generators are also there. Reliance के भी अपने thermal power units हैं. So in this way, this is how ये सारी चीजें यहाँ पे नजर आ रही हैं. Okay, and this is where we say that our power sector is quite fragmented. देखो बटा हुआ power sector है आपका, that's why we don't have a uniform policy, okay, and it is difficult to have a uniform policy. तो कहीं ना कहीं हमें ये भी नजर आता है कि policy थोड़ी difficult भी हो जाती है और absence भी नजर आती है. तो this is the important point that we have to understand, okay. तो ये एक important point है जो that are sought in this particular electricity bill. The problem is this: center will come out with the instruction and those instructions will be made binding on the state, okay. कि भी सेंटर की इंस्ट्रक्शन जो है वो कहीं ना कहीं स्टेट के ऊपर अब बाइंडिंग हो जाएगी, स्टेट्स जो है वो रिफ्यूज नहीं कर पाएंगे, एंड दिस इज व्हाट दे आर नॉट लाइकिंग, this is what they are not liking, okay. So they said that our autonomy will be compromised, कि भाई हमारी autonomy जो है वो कहीं ना कहीं compromise हो रही है. This is what states are complaining, okay. So ये एक important चीज़ है जो यहाँ पे आपको समझनी है. Other than that, nothing much, कुछ खास नहीं है यहाँ पे. We'll move to the next part. Okay, global instability posing a challenge to the national security, and this is what S. Jaishankar is saying. Definitely, see, we are facing multiple security issue. Now, when you talk about national security, first of all, there are, say, international dimensions, okay, and the national dimensions that are there, and in that you will divide things in multiple way. So here you have economic security as part of it, okay, energy security as part of it, and other law and order situation. Now economy is low, going down, okay, because internationally the global economy is down, inflation is there, etc etc etc. ये सारी प्रॉब्लम आ रही है आज की डेट में. और दूसरा अगर हम एनर्जी की बात करें तो एनर्जी सिक्योरिटी के ऊपर भी डाउट है, बिकॉज द प्राइसेस आर इन्फ्लेटिंग. तो ऑयल के प्राइसेस वगैरह काफ़ी बढ़ रहे हैं, एंड इंडिया इज़ अ इम्पोर्ट डिपेंडेंट कंट्री, और हम जो है इम्पोर्ट डिपेंडेंट है. सो इन दिस वे दिस ग्लोबल इंस्टेबिलिटी इज पोजिंग अ सीरियस चैलेंज टू Indian security, okay. This is what this idea is about. This is what this idea is about. So we'll move to the next part. आगे चलते हैं, देखते हैं और क्या खास है यहाँ पे. Other than that there is nothing much. Okay, freebies are different from the welfare schemes. Now this is what the gentleman is saying, and the Supreme Court is also acknowledging it. Supreme Court का भी यही मानना है, and they have advised to form a committee, okay, कि एक कमेटी बनाई जाएगी. That committee will come out with the report mentioning about how the welfare schemes they are to be separated from the freebies, okay. welfare schemes को कैसे जो है हम freebies के साथ कहीं ना कहीं separate करेंगे. Now what are those welfare schemes? So you have MG नरेगा, okay. अब आपके पास है MG नरेगा. Now MG नरेगा is a welfare scheme. Same way you have PDS system, it's a welfare scheme. Freebies, if you see, we have lot of wasteful expenditure on freebies. So you have power subsidy that is being given, free power जो दी जाती है वो है. कहीं ना कहीं fertilizer subsidy is also creating a problem, okay. Then you promise multiple things like time pay, etc etc etc. So these are problematic and they will have a negative impact on your economy. इनका impact जो है कहीं ना कहीं negative ही होता है आपकी economy के ऊपर. So that's why this particular idea was proposed by Supreme Court, that have a report, have a committee that will decide on these things, okay. तो ये सारी चीज़ें यहाँ पे बताई गई हैं. We have to figure it out कि कब ये कमेटी रिपोर्ट देती है. जब रिपोर्ट आएगी तब आपको इसे रेफर करना होगा, ओके. इट विल बी इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर योर प्रिपरेशन. Now other than that there is nothing much, कुछ खास नहीं है. So here we have this news: Essential Commodities Act invoked to rein in the tur dal prices, okay. So इंडिया के अंदर होल्डिंग की एक मेजर प्रॉब्लम आती है, एंड टू डील विद दैट वी हैव द एसेंशियल कमोडिटीज एक्ट, ओके, सो दैट वी कैन डील विद दिस, ओके. इसके आराम से जो है हम संभाल सके. सो दिस इज व्हाट द होल आइडिया इज अबाउट, ओके. अदर देन दैट देयर इज नथिंग मच, कुछ खास नहीं है यहाँ पे, ओके. सो दिस इज व्हाट द होल आइडिया इज, एंड other than this there is nothing much on this page. So we'll move to the next part. International page पे चलते हैं, देखते हैं वहाँ क्या खास है, okay. So here we are moving towards this international page. Again there is nothing much, कुछ खास नहीं है यहाँ पे. And AG personally approved Trump search, okay. So this is not important for us. So other important thing that is there: Iran may accept EU plan on nuclear deal if demands met. Now this is the positive development, okay. Why it is positive from the Indian point of view? See, when you talk about this thing, right now Iran is under sanctions. Iran के ऊपर लगे हुए हैं sanction, okay. तो ईरान इज अंडर सैंक्शन, वी कैन नॉट डू बिजनेस विद ईरान, तो हम ढंग से जो है बिजनेस ईरान के साथ नहीं कर सकते। ओके, वी कैन नॉट डू बिजनेस विद ईरान एंड इट इज़ रियली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। ओके, और ये हमारे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट भी है कि आप इसे बिजनेस जो है वो ईरान के साथ नहीं करेंगे। बट द थिंग इज दैट वी हैव इन्वेस्टेड इन चाबहार पोर्ट, अब आपका इन्वेस्टमेंट चाबहार पोर्ट में अच्छे से लगा हुआ है। ओके, एंड वी आर नॉट एबल टू यूटिलाइज इट टू द फुल एक्सटेंट, आप उसका फुल यूज नहीं कर पा रहे। So if these sanctions are lifted from Iran, then definitely we will be able to use this Chabahar port to its full capacity. आप अच्छे से चाबहार पोर्ट को यूज कर पाओगे। ओके, सो दैट्स द मेजर पॉइंट दैट वी वांट ईरान टू कंक्लूड दिस डील। अदर पॉइंट इज दिस, नाउ इरानियन ऑयल इज नॉट एंटरिंग द इंटरनेशनल मार्केट, अब ईरान का तेल इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में नहीं आ रहा है क्योंकि सैंक्शन लगे हुए हैं। वंस इरानियन ऑयल स्टार्टेड एंटरिंग द इंटरनेशनल मार्केट, oil prices will also come down। okay, oil prices कम आ जाएगा, again India will be benefiting out of it। ठीक है जी। next point is this, on the Afghanistan issue we do want support from Iran। okay, हमें चाहिए ईरान की support, and the point is this, we will be able to balance China in a better way। चाइना को बैलेंस कर पाएंगे हम यहाँ पे। ओके, बिकॉज राइट नाउ चाइना इज डूइंग द बिजनेस विद एंड वी आर नॉट डूइंग एनीथिंग, सो दिस इज हाउ डेवलपमेंट इज देयर। बट इफ दीज sanctions are lifted from Iranians, then definitely we will be in a good position to sort out things with them। काफी अच्छे से हम अपनी इक्वेशंस को यहाँ पे बेटर कर पाएंगे। ओके, this is what the whole idea is about। other than that, US Indonesia hold military drills। okay, again there is a strategic messaging for China here। okay, तो चाइना को मैसेजिंग यहाँ पे हर जगह से की जा रही है दैट ओके, डोंट थिंक दैट यू कैन डू वट एवर यू वॉन्ट, सो अदर प्लेयर्स आर ऑल्सो टू बी लुक्ड इन टू। ओके, बाकी प्लेयर्स को भी यहाँ पे ऐड किया जाएगा। सो दैट वॉज द पॉइंट। अदर देन दैट देर इज नथिंग मच, कुछ खास नहीं है यहाँ पे। ओके, इंडस्ट्रियल आउटपुट ग्रोथ स्लोज। ओके, दिस इज हाउ थिंग्स आर नॉट गुड, चीज़ें ठीक नहीं हैं। सो इंडस्ट्रियल आउटपुट ग्रोथ क्यों कम हो रही है? बेसिकली डिमांड इज लेस। ओके, डिमांड कम हो रही है ना। व्हाई डिमांड इज लेस? डिमांड इज लेस प्राइमरीली बिकॉज ऑफ द ग्लोबल सिनेरियो इज लाइक दिस। ओके, तो ग्लोबली थिंग्स आर लाइक दिस, योर एक्सपोर्ट इज नॉट पिकिंग अप, आपका एक्सपोर्ट तो बिल्कुल भी पिक नहीं हो रहा है यहाँ पे। तो सबसे बड़ी समस्या तो सीधी सीधी यही नजर आ रही है। इंटरनेशनल मार्केट में भी डिमांड कम चल रही है। ठीक है ना, दैट वॉज द पॉइंट हियर। ओके, एक्सपोर्ट्स लाइक बहुत ही कम पेस पे आगे जा रहे हैं। There is another interesting news, that is corporate tax revenue rose 34% till July 31। तो कॉर्पोरेट टैक्स जो है उसका रेवेन्यू ठीक ठाक हमारा इंक्रीज हो रहा है। इट मीन्स दैट योर इकोनॉमी इज ऑन द पाथ ऑफ रिवाइवल, आपकी इकोनॉमी जो है वो बिल्कुल ही रिवाइवल के पाथ के ऊपर है एंड थिंग्स आर गोइंग टू बी फाइन इन द कमिंग डेज। ओके, ऑलरेडी योर फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर शी हैज assured the country that India will not be impacted by recession। okay, already we are saying that in the West, specifically US and all, they all are heading towards recession, वो शायद recession की तरफ जाएंगे, but we might be able to protect ourselves। okay, India will be in a safe and secure position। पहले भी ऐसा हुआ था 2008 सब प्राइम क्राइसिस। ओके, दो we were impacted, देखो हमारा आईटी सेक्टर तब भी इम्पैक्ट हुआ था, आज भी आईटी सेक्टर शायद इम्पैक्ट होगा। ओके, उसके चांस है इम्पैक्ट होने के, बट अदर देन दैट वी हैड रियली स्ट्रॉन्ग macroeconomic credentials। okay, so we still maintain those strong macroeconomic credentials, so there are good chances that things are going to be fine at our end, चीजें जो है हमारे एंड पे ठीक ठाक रहेंगी। so this is what this idea is about and this is what we have in today's session। so that's it for the day then, thank you very much।